The Tao of Self-Confidence, episode 288. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. Visit our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits. Well, hello friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap Chan, and today I have a phenomenal lady on the show today. She is the CEO of Solve Education, and I'm just really excited to have her on and share her story today. And so without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Janine Teo. Janine, how are you today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit more about yourself to our listeners.
I'm doing really good. So as you were saying, I'm currently leading Solve Education, and Solve Education is a not-for-profit education technology company. And what we want to do is to make sure that everyone have access to quality education. So our aim is to figure out a way to deliver education at a very low price or free to everyone.
Thanks for sharing that, and I think that's a great initiative, especially, in Asian countries. I'm sure there's tons of kids who don't even get to go to school, right?
You're actually, really, really right. In South Asia, I think there are 100 million kids that are out of school. So, yes.
That's crazy. I didn't even realize it was that many.
Yes.
So thanks for sharing that. And Janine, what's your cultural background?
So myself, I'm fourth generation Singaporean. My great-grandparents migrated from China, really literally with nothing in their pockets. As you know, Chinese families favor boys over girls. So me and my sister being girls, right, we actually were really lucky to have loving and supportive parents who worked hard to ensure we have a good education. And this was something that, my parents themselves did not have the luxury to do so. My father had to work to save up while supporting his family as an eldest son. And he eventually went back to the university after, much later to finish his degree. So this is why I value education very much, and I value the opportunity for education so much that I'm working with Solve Education and would love to bring this to other kids who do not have the privilege to do so.
Thanks. And it's crazy how when you hear like your grandparents or your parents talk about school, especially my grandmother, like I think she only finished up to like 2nd or 6th grade or something, and it's something that we take for granted. Like we're able to finish school, go to college, and have that privilege, right? And I think it's important to have too, just to educate kids on life, on the world, and everything that's around us. So
absolutely.
So I love what you're doing. And what would be your favorite self-confidence quote?
My favorite quote would be, "You can do more than you think you can." Every time, when I was trying to do something that I feel I can't do and, I do it anyway, most of the time I get surprised by myself. And so I really encourage everybody to try to do that with that mindset.
I love that quote, and it's true, right? We are so capable of so much more than we realize. Like today I went jogging and I locked myself out of the house, and the gate was locked, so it's like I'm stuck here in the garage. And I had two choices: stay there until someone woke up, or just climbed over the fence. And it's not just like a normal fence. There's like all these like things that are prickling you. So it's like one or two things. Like I either stay there and wait for someone, or I go jogging and climb over that fence. And I eventually climbed over the fence, and I actually made it without falling on my butt or on my face. And it's just like you never know what you're capable of. Even something as simple as that, can help you build confidence, right? It's like, It's like, what else can I do? So I really love that. I love that quote that you mentioned. And in your own words, how would you define self-confidence?
I think self-confidence is really the ability to love yourself, know your strength, but at the same time, acknowledge your weaknesses. Nobody's perfect, right?
Yeah, totally. I mean, even as, being Asian, especially being an Asian woman, it's like we've been taught all our lives to be like this perfect person. And we strive for perfection, not realizing that there's no such thing. And when we can let go of that notion, like nothing is perfect in life, just live your life the way it is, that's what is beautiful about it. And I wish more people can realize like being perfect is tiring. It's time consuming, energy consuming.
Exactly.
And that's why so many people are like having such low confidence because it's like they compare themselves to people in the magazines or to, family members. And it's like, why can't I be that person? Because you're not, you are you for a reason. So thanks for sharing that definition. And what was your life like before your discovery of self-confidence?
So I remember growing up as a little girl thinking that, I was really ugly. I'm not fair like other, Chinese ladies, right? And I felt my nose was too big and so on. My first job out of school was actually in Paris, France, as a software engineer. And before that, I spent almost all my life in Asia, right? I finished I was educated 100% in Singapore. So at that point, I was really self-conscious and I doubted my abilities. Even though when I was in school in Singapore, I was representing my school for programming competitions. I published, research papers on IEEE and so on. But I still felt, inferior. Of course, it didn't help that I was Asian and I was obviously much smaller than most people. And I spoke French with a funny accent, right? Yeah, definitely struggling a little bit.
Thanks for sharing that. And it's funny when we go into unknown territory, we like get scared right away because we kind of like stand out from the rest. Like you mentioned, speaking French with a different accent, people will kind of pick that up. But I mean, sometimes we have to go those unknown territories to find out what we're capable of. And what was that point in your life when you realized you were, more than enough to be the person that you are today? What was that aha moment?
Yeah, so perhaps I was lucky that I was in a tech field where my competency is measured really clearly and, neither my size nor my accent mattered. And so with commitment and hard work, so it was evident to the team and to my boss that I was able to perform. And so since then, I never looked back. I never questioned my abilities. And actually it was funny because, earlier I was saying I was much smaller than most people. So at the start, I was trying to wear shoes that were much higher than what I could manage. So I was like, really wanting to be taller to fit into everyone's, like the environment around me. So, but now, I'm wearing flats all the time.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. I mean, it's great when you wear a pair of heels because it does make you feel like more confident stuff. But then when you trip on them, that's a whole other story.
Yes, that's right.
So it's like we look confident and we walk and then we kind of trip and it happens from time to time, and we can laugh about it when we look back. But I mean, it's funny what we do. I mean, it's a great confidence booster at the same time. And because of your realizations, what's your life been like now?
So right now, I feel in my heart that I could achieve anything I want to do. And of course, there are times that I still, doubt myself, right? But I do believe that the only obstacle that I have is my own limiting belief. So after a few years in software engineering, I followed my love of traveling, just like you, right? And jumped into hospitality. And so with hospitality, I had a really great and enriching career. I have traveled, over 40 countries, and I did really great. And I started to think about what's my purpose in life, and I wanted to make a difference and really contribute back to the society. And that's when I left the corporate career and took up this challenge to lead self-education, which is the not-for-profit education company. I believe that this combines my tech background and my experience in training and, working with emerging markets.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And it's great that, you were able to leave, something that was safe to do what you love. And I know for some people it's scary. I mean, for everyone it's scary, but, it's just feeling that fear and doing anyway just because, we have one life to live. We have to make the most of it. So, I'm glad you're able to do that. And, to the woman who's listening to your episode, she may be in her own journey of self-confidence. What would be that one tip you would give to her?
So I have the privilege of leading and coaching both men and women throughout my career. And what I observed about women is exactly why we are doing this self-confidence, right? They don't have enough self-confidence to, for example, put a hand up for a promotion or go for a role that they are really interested in, right? Most women that I see are only willing to do that when they're, almost 120% ready for the job. While men, they do not hesitate. I don't know where they find this confidence, but they do not hesitate to, go for it and convince me that they're really ready, even though they were just, 70% ready or so. So, my advice out to fellow women out there is to have more faith in yourself. No one have a straight or smooth road to success. And so if you are struggling right now, it happens to everyone, right? So do know that whatever difficulties that you're having right now is just temporary as long as you continue to push towards your goals. As I was saying, I still experience moments of self-doubt from time to time, even now. So do surround yourself with like-minded people. They kind of form a bubble, a supportive bubble around you, and would encourage you along the way. So I have a small circle of supportive people that I know I can count on. They give me really, honest feedback. At the same time, also give me encouragement that I need. So do form that. And I think lastly, women don't support each other enough. So kudos to you, Sheena, to do this podcast. What I would encourage other women to do is to go out and cheer for other ladies, right? And spread positive vibes. They will definitely come back your way.
Thanks for all those tips. And, I totally agree with you when it comes to like taking action. Like men just do it. It's like they have this ready, fire, aim before it's like instead of ready, aim, fire, they just keep on firing until they get it right. And I think when we pick up that same mentality, just keep on doing it regardless of the mistakes, that's when the magic happens. And sometimes our mistakes can lead us to, the right path, the right journey. So, instead of being afraid of all the mistakes we make, we just learn to embrace them and just keep going. So love the tips that you mentioned. And if our listeners wanted to connect with you and get to know a little bit more about you and your initiative, is there any links or social media profiles that you can share with us today?
So for self-education, you can go to www.selfeducation.org. And for myself, you can find me on LinkedIn and connected from Facebook and so on as well. So my email address, just so you know, is janine.teo@gmail.com or janine@selfeducation.org.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And to our listeners, if you want to connect with Janine, you can also head on over to the taoofselfconfidence.com and search for Janine's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else we talked about. And I just want to thank Janine for taking the time to share her story with us. So thank you so much.
And thank you, Sheena, for doing this.
Not a problem. It was an honor to have you on the show. And to our listeners, be on the lookout for another new episode of another amazing woman's journey to self-confidence. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in to another amazing episode of the Tao of Self-Confidence. Get your free audiobook by visiting our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits.